Welcome to Other Business. We have a show called Scripty Business where we make up a movie on the fly. And this is our off episode, our little break where we just get to, because we're both cinephiles in very different flavors. And so we just want to kind of chat and have a yarn about movies.
It's basically like a therapy session, you know?
Big time.
Like, just to vent.
Totally.
We can't do that in Scripty. There's no time. No time, ever.
We come from very different fields, and I think today is going to be really interesting because of that. Because this is a subject that I'm really interested in. And it was brought to my attention recently, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? I'm talking about the aesthetic crisis of films.
Legitimately didn't know where we're going with this one. Like, this was, I actually had to check with you then for a second.
Me neither.
Okay, so we're doing the aesthetic conversation. Okay.
But we're here.
Help me out a little bit. How does one pronounce the word? I can write it. Is it aesthetics or aesthetics? It's aesthetics. Aesthetics?
I believe so.
Aesthetics. It's a fucked up word to
It
have a
is.
whole episode about.
It is a fucked up word, but it's a very
Great.
satisfying.
I'm going to
word.
avoid saying it much.
Aesthetics.
The A word is what we're
Well,
doing
you
today.
you could say that there's there's a visual crisis in films.
This is actually something I can agree with you on.
Oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
So very specifically, there's this very weird phenomenon that's going on, largely in American films, but then kind of trickles down into other nations that draw a lot of inspiration from,
markets.
like Australia.
Yep.
Where we have this like extreme polarization towards ultra attractive people and highly designed physiologies, and like, you know, designer faces that have been reconstructed, designer bodies that have been, you know, carved and tailored and worked to look in very specific shapes. And it's creating, in my mind, this weird sense of like unrelatability in film. Like the everyday person has just kind of very subtly and methodically been erased from film culture over the past 10 days.
I have heard you complain about this.
Yeah, it's a
before.
really, really, really strange phenomenon.
Yeah. Which is weird to me, because my point of view on this is, generally speaking, if I'm going to watch people on a screen for 2 hours, it doesn't hurt if they're good to look at.
I think it doesn't hurt if they're good to look at if that is in service of the story, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it is a movie, say something like The Substance, which I don't know if you've seen that.
I really want to, but I know
quite
I know what it's about.
Yeah.
I've seen the gist of it, just like me and Shakespeare.
Yeah, totally.
I know enough about
I get the
it.
gist.
I know enough about it. Yeah.
It's quite an interesting film. It's both like compelling and frustrating at the same time. But it has a really good central metaphor, which is this like, you know, designerness, this ultra aggressive march towards youth, right? Where what you're talking about is true, and if it was like a story about a supermodel or someone really attractive, or the downfalls of that, or the praise, or if the story was centralized around it, it would make a lot of sense. But like, one of your favorite movies of all time, from memory, I think, is Ghostbusters, right?
I highly rate that film.
Right.
Yeah, it's right up there.
There is a unspoken relatability to the characters in that film that just
everywhere.
doesn't translate to nowadays. You look at like Bill Murray and help me out with the other people. Dan Aykroyd, right? And the other actors in this film, they are quite relatable in that if I walked down the street, I would be like, oh, that's a Bill Murray looking dude. Or that's like a Dan Aykroyd looking dude. Like, but they get replaced by people who, you know, like Paul Rudd in the same franchise.
Gorgeous man.
But looks 20 or 30 years younger than he is, and is not someone that I would regularly encounter. Or like a Jake Gyllenhaal, for example, is just like...
See, you've kind of touched on something that I was going to get into, which I'm really excited about this. Now, Bill Murray, for all intents and purposes, in his peak stardom, most people would have said that he was a good-looking man, and he was a good-looking man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we, with the context of the passage of time, can compare him to actors today and go, he's an uggo, compared to the Jacob Elordis or the Gyllenhaals or whatever else. So is this problem less about there's a lot of attractive people on there, or more, enough of this type is in the public eye in the big pictures, and that's what people gravitate towards as attractive.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it is.
But no.
No. It's not. It's not that it's not a no. I think it's a little more sinister than that. Right? That you are right. Bill Murray was and is attractive and is being flattened by a skewed aesthetic crisis where we are like, oh, if they don't look like Zendaya or God, who else is like? They don't look like a Jake Gyllenhaal or a Brad Pitt, then that's our standard. Like that becomes that's our baseline. They have to be as attractive as those people to pass the bar, and then it becomes about designing humans more than it is about relating to humans.
Yep.
Like Bruce Willis, I think, is a fantastic example. He was like borderline a sex symbol during his peak. Die Hard, right? Die Hard era, he was...
That vest.
Totally. He was kind of hailed as this ultra masculine, grounded icon. But he has a receding hairline. He is going bald. He, by modern day standards, is not quote unquote fit, shredded, ripped. He's toned, but he's kind of a bit more like healthy. He's not like 8-pack, shredded, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, superhero body.
All the Chris's.
All the Chris's, man.
Chris Pratt for a time. Don't know
Chris
what he's
Pratt.
doing these days.
No, I think he is still...
Still shredded?
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
Chris Pine?
Chris Pine.
There's
Also
another
shredded.
Chris we're missing. Christopher Eccleston?
Oh, breaks them all. But is actually an excellent example. Much more relatable, right? But his era of relatability is when Doctor Who was first revived. Which was
New Who. God,
early 2000s?
Yeah.
Right? Where this aesthetic crisis hadn't poisoned the well, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like he's a much more relatable Doctor. Also, the UK is very different.
I was to say, most people in the UK are kind of fucked up looking, even myself.
Which makes them relatable.
We all got
you know what
bad
I mean?
teeth.
Like, I think that makes people a lot more relatable to be like, this is a story about an every this is a story about, say, a spy, right? Jake Gyllenhaal, picking on him because he's quite aesthetically.
You've really locked in on him, haven't you?
We'll go Brad Pitt or we'll go Chris Evans. Or
No,
whatever.
let's keep going the Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal. There is a
don't know.
way to say it.
I honestly don't know. Jake, if you're listening, please help.
Jakey G. We're
Jakey
going with
G,
him. He with
right?
he. Yeah.
If you look at someone like Jakey G, put into like a spy movie, has no place in that movie, right? Because a spy should
blend
be
in.
should be an everyday, should be not necessarily unattractive, but should like camouflage, should be visually camouflageable. And these movie stars are not.
Yeah, not memorable, blending in. So every 007, basically.
Yeah, he's the worst spy. There's a whole different episode.
Hang
He's
on.
one of the worst spies ever.
This kind of works still again, though, because if you think about, like, Sean Connery, I would not say that Sean Connery is a good-looking bloke, even in the 007 days. It was like an image of that era. And you go further back to, like, Clint Eastwood days, John Wayne, all of that types. Not traditionally facial features and everything else that we associate with, like, that's a good-looking person. But they had that thing you tapped into about Brucey Dubs.
Yes.
That masculinity, that, like, you know, male energy. BDE, I think they call it. Big daddy energy, something like that. I don't know what it stands for. But you look at that and then...
dominant energy.
Big dominant energy. You look at that and then you look at these days, like, I'm sorry, Timothy Chalamet, I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Yes.
I don't get it.
And again, I think that is a symptom of this aesthetic crisis.
Are we almost pivoting further? Like, we've gone from the masculine male leads to the pretty boy male leads, where they're still tough, ripped, and the rest of it. And now you're getting into the smaller frame. Like Tom Holland is another one. That dude's tiny. He's not a jacked, big, strong guy. I'm not saying everyone has to. I'm not jacked or big or strong. I've been jacked in the past, but I still wasn't big or strong. I'm a small guy. I'm just a little guy.
Just a little baby boy.
But like, are we getting to that point where the male image is pivoting into softer features, smaller features?
I don't think it's an exclusively male thing either.
No, yeah,
But
agree.
yes, I do agree with
I
you.
feel like I
think
can't comment on the female side of this without coming across as something to someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's a minefield I'm not stepping on. You can go for gold.
I think there's always going to be very, very stringent aesthetic rules around male and female form in a marketplace that is trying to sell sexuality, sexual attraction,
Oh, sex sells.
that kind of stuff. But I think that those ideas, generally speaking and historically speaking, sit in opposition to good storytelling. And we are just in the middle of a cycle, a hypercycle, I guess, or something that's taking it to the extreme, where good storytelling is being sacrificed for aesthetic pleasability. But I think you are right. There is this shift. You look at like what was the icons of action in the 80s is very aesthetically different to the icons of action nowadays.
Yeah, like Sly Stallone wasn't a good-looking dude. And then he got his face fucked up and knocked around by fists. Worse-looking dude, but still an icon of film.
Yes.
And then he's had all that work done to try and fix it.
Yes, and I think you've actually raised a really interesting side note here around aesthetics and aesthetic pleasability and the sacrificing of storytelling in order to maximize aesthetic pleasability. And Rocky is actually one of the greatest examples of this.
Go on.
Okay, so in Rocky 1, Stallone is not a particularly attractive man. He is unique and interesting to look at. He is, has a very lived-in face, which is fantastic, which tells all the storytelling. He looks like a boxer who has been beaten to shit and back. And that does so much of the heavy lifting of the movie alone. He doesn't even have to speak a word. We can just sit 20 seconds on his face and we go, oh, dang, and we get it, right? And in that movie, he does get the ever-loving shit beaten out of him.
A lot.
And there is that, that famous, I think it's towards the end, it's been a while since I've seen Rocky, that famous scene where like he can't see out his eye and they get the knife and they cut the eye to release the blood, and his face is messed up, it's swollen, it's not attractive, it's beaten to hell, there's blood pouring out of everywhere, and he's disorientated, he's got a concussion, he's screaming at Adrian, which gets memed, but it's like, all of that feels like lived in, right? And none of that work is being done in order to make him look attractive to the movie tellers. All of that work is going into telling an interesting narrative that has a compelling outcome. You compare that to the Rocky that Michael B. Jordan was in. Is it Michael B. Jordan?
Creed.
Yeah, right. And you look at him at the end of his boxing match, and he is lightly sweated, unscathed, with two very specific blood marks on his, I think it's his cheek or his forehead, that do not impact his face at all. They allow for maximum visibility of his face, and he looks gorgeous from start to finish in that fight. And essentially that fight just promotes him as this aesthetically beautiful icon that is never touched.
Yeah,
but the story is sacrificed for that because it doesn't feel like a real fight. Because a real fight is a punch to the face, your face gets swollen, warped, blood pisses out everywhere, and you can't talk properly anymore. And that's that's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm glad we stumbled onto that. Wasn't my intention by bringing up Sly. That was just an accident.
Well, let me bring it back then. Smash or pass?
Smash or pass. Okay, cool. You want me to name him?
Yeah.
Josh Gad.
What is Josh Gad in? I need a picture. Help me out.
Oh, he voices Olaf?
I don't think I know his face.
What? Okay, cool. One of the biggest movie stars, in a way, of recent years. There's Josh Gad. Truly iconic actor. Everybody, you're going to recognize him a million miles away.
Pass.
Pass? But I thought we've molded everybody into this attractive thing. I'm trying to go out of my way to find people to prove me wrong.
No, yeah, please continue.
Let's go. What about someone like Benedict Cumberbatch?
Smash.
Why? His face is fucking weird,
Because it's not always about face.
He's got a weird face.
He's got a weird face. He got a weird ass.
He's got a weird body. He's got a weird shape.
Oh, but he's got a really charming aura. And charm does a lot of heavy lifting.
That's just accent based, though. I'm sorry.
Tilda Swinton, smash or pass?
Smash.
Why?
Strong. She's just like
That is true.
She's got an energy to
incredibly
her.
strong.
It's like you can lecture me, and I will listen to every single word because you have a way.
Love Tilda Swinton with all of my heart. Like hands down, one of the best actors I think ever in the modern era.
Okay.
Still living, one of the greatest actors alive. Incredible.
I'm just trying to think. Okay, Stanley Tucci.
Smash.
But would you say he is an outright, like, look at him and an attractive person? Or is it the qualities behind it, like with Benedict Cumberbatch, like with Tilda Swinton?
I actually think he has been aesthetically redesigned.
He looks exactly the same as he always has.
I don't know. There's a much more designedness to him.
There's pictures of him from Devil Wears Prada 1, a lot. So they did the cast of Devil Wears Prada 1 and compared them to what they look like now. Tucci's not changed at all.
Interesting.
And he's battled
Maybe that's-
cancer during that time.
Oh, really?
Yep. And he's the one that hasn't changed.
Then I think this is a false memory in my head.
I think so, too.
That phenomenon. I can't remember what it's called.
Mandela effect?
Yeah, something like a Mandela effect. I think still Smash though.
Fair enough. I'm just going to quickly Google actors of the 21st century because I don't know what else to look up. Oh, here we go. IMDb has the greatest actors of the 21st century. So I'm going to rattle some off.
Oh my God, hit me.
These are like arguably the top actors of our time. And then we're going to go through like who is actually doing. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Smash.
But I would argue that he looks more like the old era.
Yes.
So kind of breaks the mold with what we're talking about.
But that's fine. Again, it's like, okay, so here's a really interesting thing, right? What we're talking about is aesthetics and sexuality and sexual viability getting in the way of storytelling.
Got it. So for him, that doesn't happen.
Right? No, he is, it's the same thing as like Olivier, like a gorgeous, right? But just is a brilliant storyteller and that's what we're leaning into.
So this is a bad list because a lot of these people are from the old era, the era that we're talking about, not the new era. I don't know enough new people to have a conversation.
Zendaya, smash or pass?
Pass. Pass.
Pass.
Doesn't do it for me.
You mentioned someone, Timothy Chalamet.
Pass. Just
Brad
a
Pitt.
meek little boy. Don't get the appeal. I don't get why women are going crazy for him and men. I don't understand what's attractive about him. Brad Pitt makes sense to me. I can understand why people would define that as an attractive person. That makes sense. But then stand him next to Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland? No. It's a different level. Like when people talk about like Jacob Elordi and those sort of people now, that makes sense to me as well because these are like, you know what it is? You know what it is?
What?
It's the classic stereotypical stereotypes that have been enforced to us for our lives. I think we're at a point in our lives where as much as we try and buck the stereotypes and say that stereotyping is bad, it is fucking
still
ingrained.
ingrained in us, yeah.
Because all I'm realizing is looking at classically attractive people compared to people of today that I didn't grow up with or didn't fit the
Which is
mold
a
of what I
different
know
aesthetic mold.
and going, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
There's your problem. We solved it.
You don't think
I don't
that's
know
in
how-
the way of storytelling?
I mean, I'm trying to think, like, Chalamet did Marty Supreme, and maybe I need to go and watch that, but I believe that has done very well, and I get the gist of it again. But from what I can tell, like, his appearance is not a big factor of past, like, in the movie, the way that he is make-upped and costumed and everything else adds to the movie. But I haven't seen it to be able to say if it's like Michael B. Jordan in Creed, where, you know, he isn't damaged and he doesn't go through it. Like, Andrew Garfield did well on that because of, like, what was that movie? What was that movie where he's like a theater troupe? Oh, God, you'd know it. Come on, man. He was in a movie where he's in like a theater trip doing a musical about Rent, I think.
I actually don't know the movie.
Damn it. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he went through it and had like drugs and whatnot and like looked like shit. Even Chris Pratt to an extent in some of the, even in the Marvel movies. Now this is an interesting thing. You don't like the Marvel movies, I get that. And it's Marvelized everything and
I
everything
liked them
looks the
the
same.
first time I watched it.
They're not afraid to break their damn characters though, visually. There are scenes in the MCU where Chris Pratt in particular, his face is all beaten to a pulp and all puffed up like Rocky. They don't shy away from that. Chris Hemsworth eye gets ripped out. Scarred, awful. They do that.
But they are still framed, generally speaking, in an aesthetically pleasing. And again, it's weird.
hard with-
it's hard
it's
not
hard
to
with
because
comics.
it's superhero.
Yeah.
They're meant to be like these big, constructed, posed, always looking shining. You look at someone like Robert Downey Jr., who's always shiny, always looks good. In the middle of a war zone, and Iron Man still kind of looks like pretty good.
Which is interesting when you think about who Robert Downey Jr. was in real life.
Much more
prior to
compelling.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch? Oh god damn it! Whenever we do this, my brain goes rubbish. It was like a cell shaded.
Scanner Darkly?
Yeah. Did you watch that?
I have. It's been on my list for Eternity.
Oh man.
With Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Great film.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Woody
excellent.
Harrelson, I want to say, is in that as well. It's an incredible film. But Robert Downey Jr. character in that again is like basically a bum, like not aesthetically pleasing to look at.
So I look at, this is maybe an unfair example, but the something like Monster is interesting.
With fuck, who's in Monster? Is that? Oh, crap, help me out. Who?
Is that Charlize Theron?
Huh? Monster.
No, that's what's her name? Thank you.
Google, help us. We need to put the Google speaker here, and we can just ask it questions.
Alexa, play that song for me.
You're thinking of John Goodman. Oh wait, no, that's Monsters Inc. Sorry, so sorry
Mike
for that.
Wazowski.
Monster. The 2003, the 2022, or the 2023 movie called Monster.
2003.
2, 3. That would be yes. What's her name?
Charlize Theron.
Good job.
I've been practicing.
Oh, Christina Ricci.
Right. So
yeah.
it's a movie that has lots of issues in it, and there's large discourse around it. But it is interesting the degree in which she was like, okay, change
Oh yeah,
the
gross.
false teeth and the prosthetics, and to make her look closer to the woman that it is based off of. Mm-hmm. And that is a lot of like aesthetic work going into telling a story, which to me is interesting, to be like, these were key fundamental parts of this story that made this person who they were, and that aesthetic is like doing the heavy lifting, which
Yeah.
that wouldn't land if she was like thinned out, sharp jawline, perfect teeth,
Okay.
nice haircut. Stumbled onto something really interesting here.
Is like losing your appearance for the sake of a character.
Well, that's also really interesting, because now they're almost like two separate ideas, right? Which is, one is approaching a movie as your standardized self with no like alteration, which is what we were kind of originally discussing, and how
Yeah.
this kind of like hyper aesthetic look makes things like unrelatable. And then there is a different argument or subject matter of transforming your physical look in order to
Okay.
more accurately portray the story at hand.
So, like we were saying with Sly being in Rocky, his natural appearance and mannerisms benefited the story that was being presented.
Yes, which is what I think we're losing. I
Yeah.
think we're losing that naturalness. You look at like The Godfather, and all those dudes look like they belong there.
Yeah. But like, so on the flip side of that, going to, let's call it what it is, extremes with costume and makeup and, dialect coaching and the rest of it to portray a character. Colin Farrell is the Penguin.
Yeah, great example.
But that is like an iconically attractive male lead that got the part. rather than some fuggo that actually looks like the goddamn penguin. They could have cast somebody that already kind of looked like that. So is that the problem? That people that are disgusting don't have opportunity because they're disgusting? Just like in real life? Like,
I don't know.
what's the problem? I'm lost.
The problem is that there is I'm going to borrow from the gaming world. And it's not the exact right term, but there's a kind of ludonarrative dissonance that's occurring in filmmaking.
Too fancy, dumb it down.
Ludonarrative dissonance is this idea that the story you are trying to tell is in direct opposition to the gameplay that you have to do in order to tell that story. For example,
Thank you.
The Last of Us 2, which is a game that I absolutely adore, it's one of my favorite games of all time, sets up a narrative that revenge is really, really bad, don't do it, not good, and violence only ever leads to destruction, and violence is really bad and horrible and heartbreaking. But then you spend the entire game sneaking through the bushes, stabbing people in the throat, ripping out ripping out their throats, shooting them in the face. And so there's this dissonance between the story trying to tell you something and projecting the characters in a certain way, them adhering, like not liking violence and all of that, but that being in direct contrast by the actions you have to take. Another great example from Naughty Dog is Uncharted. There's like happy-go-lucky, super lovable, charming,
shoots like 100,000 people
does a
to
genocide
death.
by the end of the 4 games.
Isn't that like almost intentional though, especially with The Last of Us? Like, this is awful and you shouldn't do it and it's bad, and then showing characters that have no option but to go through that to survive.
Yes, but where the issue comes in is those characters are like, I don't like this, I don't want to do this. This is
while
not
they're
great.
snapping someone's neck.
But then because the actual mechanics of the game and the only way to like enjoy it is to do a genocide or to kill all these people, or like it's all about the cost of taking a life in that game. But then you have to kill 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people
To get to a checkpoint.
to get to the next level, which one murder alone would destroy you. But there's this dissonance, right? And that, I think that's the same in the aesthetic world, where we're going, there is a like narrative dissonance between the story we are trying to tell and the story that we are being forced to consume, because we are no longer interested in looking at ordinary, relatable people who belong in the space. We only want highly designed, unrelatable people who do not belong in that space. And so there's this kind of strange dissonance that's happening in the audience to go, I don't buy it, or I don't believe, or there's something weird, because it's like, that is a room full of 10 out of 10 people, and that never happens in your life. Maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like, why is Jason Momoa in the Minecraft movie?
Yeah.
For the mums.
And like, why?
I love Jason Momoa. He's a funny fucking dude. He's actually like, you see him in interviews and what he gets up to, he plays in a band. He just seems like an absolute chiller. But you can't deny that he got most of the way he did because of his size and appearance. Like,
yeah, and his breakout role was
Khal Drogo. Yeah.
But he is a great. That's another great
example.
He is perfect as a Khal Drogo, because Khal Drogo should look like a giant, menacing, long-haired behemoth of a man. The Mountain, I think, is another great example. Like, that's good casting. He should look like that. It doesn't work if you got the guy who played the prince that he kills.
Whoever plays Joffrey. I don't even know his name.
No. The Dawn Prince.
Pedro Pascal.
If you got Pedro Pascal and cast him as the Mountain, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, okay.
It's weird.
But then, like, go back to the Minecraft movie, which you haven't seen and you never will. It's not that bad. All right, it's not that bad.
Chicken Jockey.
Jack.
I hate it so much.
Jack Black is a lead actor, not an attractive man. I don't care who you fucking are.
Yeah, okay.
He's not, man. He's got attractive qualities. I worship Jack Black. I would cry if I ever met him face to face. Man means a lot to me. But that is a movie that's essentially almost led by a Jack Black type. Is it sort of like the movie making machine that it is, that they put Jason Momoa in the support role to have that visual attraction, because his character could have been done in any number of ways. They did not need to do him as a jacked 7-foot tall fucking brooding man.
Yes.
They could have made that character anything. All it is that he's an ex-arcade machine tournament winner in the town, and he runs like a video game
Momoa?
shop. Yeah.
That's yeah, okay.
It's really weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So it's like you could have put anyone in there. You could have put Josh Gad in it.
Totally. Which would make. I actually think Jumanji is a really interesting example, because you look at Jumanji 1, and everybody in that movie feels like they belong and they're relatable. There is a relatability to like most of the characters in that movie. You know, like Robin Williams has an everyday face that feels. It's been a while since I've seen Jumanji, but I'm thinking of him and like the children.
Yeah.
Feels like quite relatable and lived in, and I feel like I could walk into any home on the street and go, yeah, there's like a Robin Williams looking dude, and that kid looks like they belong there. But then you look at something like
Welcome to the Jungle, like the new version.
the new one, and it feels designed through the roof. Like everyone is, except for Jack Black, I guess.
Yeah.
Quite attractive, quite. No, are they not? This is not the one that has like Scarlett Jo. No.
Karen Gillian.
Karen Gillian. Yeah, Gillian.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the trailers for it.
Cool. This is fun. So it's actually a video game.
Oh, okay.
They are video game characters in a video
makes
game.
sense.
Yeah, that's why when you're like, yeah, it makes no sense that they'd be that attractive. I was like, well, they're all like parodying like Lara Croft and all the rest of it.
Okay.
But the whole thing, and we need to watch this together because I think you'd have a good time. They are like nerdy kids in the high school that find the Jumanji video game and get sucked into it. And then The Rock, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillian, and Jack Black are their avatars in the game. So those 4 actors essentially are meant to look like they are to be cast in those roles, because they're
interesting.
occupied by teenage kids that are nothing like them. So Jack Black is occupied by like the blonde cheerleader, all pretty me, pretty this, and then gets into the game and is like, ew, my body. And it's hilarious. Kevin Hart's kid is like the 6.5-foot basketballer, and now he's fucking Kevin Hart, tiny. So you know what I mean? There is actually a reason for that.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, you chose the worst possible. When you started going Jumanji, I was like, oh,
but
I know this.
I think that is still quite interesting, because I find Robin Williams much more relatable than I would find any of those 4.
100%, but I think that the thing about that it does work is that it's not The Rock acting like The Rock. He is a nervous kid that can't talk to girls and the rest of it, and now he's suddenly in this ridiculous body. Like the whole thing is, this is ridiculous that we look like this. It almost...
So then that is aesthetics working towards telling
the story. I say this actually is an example for it working.
That's quite interesting. Then.
Yeah. That's great. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the 3rd one that's coming out. It's great. It's a great time.
Let's watch some
great
Jumanji.
time. When? We're too busy making podcasts.
We are.
I wanted to know if there's anything else that you wanted to quickly, in summation, about this aesthetics issue, because we talked about bad examples and we've talked about good examples of it working well. What is the fix? What is the solution to the problem that we're having in film? And we have to have multiple parts to this, by the way, because we've talked about aesthetics in casting. There's so many other film aesthetics I want to get into. Yeah, movie posters is a big problem for me.
Well, we can spend the rest of the episode.
I need an hour for that.
Okay, great. Well, then I think we should make it a series on aesthetics, because you and I have talked off mics about what I deem as oatmealification, which I also think is an aesthetic crisis, but it's not a casting aesthetic crisis. It's a visual language crisis.
This rarely happens. It rarely happens that I'm in sync with you about something like this, but yes.
Solution-wise.
For the casting epidemic.
Yeah, solution-wise.
No more Timothée Chalamets.
Well, no, I think they still have their place, and I think that is still important. But I think part of the solution is in casting is to widen the net and to find more relatable, more interesting, more lived in people who actually suit the story and the place, rather than this chasing the fantasy of highly designed, ultra sexualized, commodified people.
It's almost like, but that's how they sell tickets, right? Like, you know, you can have a movie that has all these people that are like really true to the characters they're portraying, and it will do some numbers. And then you put Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Elordi, and Timothy Chalamet in it, and it'll win awards and break records for earnings because people want to see those specific people in everything they consume.
Yeah. We are not talking about an instantaneous fix. What we are talking about is changing the tide, right? The tide doesn't come in and go instantaneous. It does it over the course of the day, right? So it is small, microscopic changes that then shift in the same way that this aesthetic crisis just didn't appear. It was slowly driven by a narrative. That narrative, right? This is what sells. There could be a counter narrative to that we could lean into that says, actually, what sells movies is rock solid storytelling, right? And the way you're going to get I can't speak today. The way you're going to get
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stories.
Yes, the way you're going to get Dwayne stories is by not casting Dwaynes, but casting
actual rocks. Everything, everywhere, all at once, managed.
Right. No Dwayne, more Rain, right?
Rainn Wilson.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay, wow, yeah, cool.
Interesting looking person.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Who actually belonged in that TV show, in that environment. And what makes that character incredible is how relatable they are to the scenario that you are suggesting. Everybody has a Rainn Wilson in a job that they've worked in, and he looks like he belongs in an office as the 2IC position that doesn't exist. But that wouldn't work if you cast Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in there, even if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had the comedic abilities of Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson works because he's a whole, like, all of those characters work because they're a confluence of everything that belongs. And I think that's the counterpoint. We're moving away from marketability and sex sells and these like aesthetic fantasies and moving back to this concept of belonging. That's how you do it.
Well, I think the first step for this is already happening, because if you watch I Think You Should Leave or Detroiters, every extra and actor in those shows are never going to be A-lister celebrity actors because they just couldn't, but they absolutely embody and scream the character that they are in that. And The Chair Company is another one. You need to watch The Chair Company.
Same guy, right?
Yeah. Tim Robinson? Yeah, Tim Robinson. Yeah, their approach is already doing it. And they're iconic. So many people knows the guy where, what design change do you want to make to this car? To not have a steering wheel that jumps out the window when you drive around. Oh, stinky. You haven't seen that? I'm going to show you that he's everywhere. And he would walk through a street and be mobbed because everybody knows who he is. So that's already happening. We need more of that.
More of that.
Let Tim Robinson just direct everything and cast everything. I'll be a happy man. That works for me.
Yeah, I think that stuff works really well. It's really interesting and compelling to have that relatability.
Yeah, there we go. More Uggos. Simple. That's how you get your Oscar finally.
True. I mean, like, talking about this, I think I drive it so hard because I'm never going to be a Hollywood A-lister without, I don't know, smashing my bones and getting plastic surgery. But I don't want that. I want a relatability. I look like an ordinary dude. I'm more of a fat version of Bruce Willis, you know, receding hairline, but is strong and hairy, but not conventionally attractive.
You got blue eyes, though.
That is true. I got very blue eyes.
That's how I'm just going to cut the episode right there.
Is that how I get my Oscar? Just the whole movie is right here, and you never actually see my face.
This has been Other Business. Don't forget, Scripty Business episodes drop on Tuesdays, where we make up movies from scratch and improvise the whole goddamn thing, thinking we can do a better job than the directors and screenwriters that we talk about in our Other Business episodes.